There's like some kind of tunnel or something.
To where?
I don't know, I mean, it's gotta have a bottom, right?
The Hole is a horror film that's geared at families. There's a family, and they move away from New York City to a dull rural town. And in their boredom, the kids are checking out the house, and they discover in the basement that there is a huge door in the floor. Things drop down, we never hear them land. There's strange sounds coming out, and obviously there's something in the hole that causes them a lot of trouble. It's not a slasher picture. I believe the audience's mind creates a lot more horrific things than the special effects people can. And so it's a little more subtle. It's a little more the way horror pictures were before they got really explicit and gruesome.
Shit.
I suggested that we make the picture in 3D, and I thought they'd just sort of laugh me out of the room or hire somebody else. But as it turned out, they thought about it, and they came back and they added a couple of bucks to make the picture in 3D, and I think it's helped it a lot. It's not a lot of stuff getting thrown into the audience, you know, not drippy eyeballs sticking out into the third row, but it's kind of an immersive thing. It makes you feel a little bit more like you're in the scene with the characters. In 2D, you know, you can have a beautiful image, but it's flat. And here you actually have the depth of what you're looking at, and that can be very effective.
Julie, what are you doing here in the dark? Hiding from your new boyfriend?
This film was shot entirely digitally, and there are certain rules and tricks to shooting digitally as opposed to shooting on film. Some people abhor digital and insist on film. I used to be like that. I used to think that I used to think I couldn't get along without a movieola, you know. So I mean, times do change, and you have to adapt to them. I was always a big horror fan when I was a kid. I mean, kids like to be scared. Kids identify with monsters because they feel, you know, out of place and in the world, and monsters often are easy for them to identify with. And I've always found that the fantastic movies tend to be somewhat more cinematic than other films because there's more use of the medium, there's more imagination that's needed to be able to present something that's completely unbelievable and try to make it believable. So over the years I've watched it develop, and I've never really lost my taste for it. I mean, there are periods when you think, well, these movies are all the same. But there's always somebody out there who's inspired by something who comes out with, you know, Pan's Labyrinth. So I think it's a great genre.